how easy it is.
Brad, they getting us.
Teaming on.
How are you?
I got you. Yeah, you were. I want you to tell me how you are right there. Okay, right there, right there. You just tell me how you are.
That's about him. He ought to be able to be here.
We up.
If we need to, don't say
All right.
after the fact.
Yeah. All right, we ready?
Yep.
Janice?
Yep.
Okay. Welcome everybody to our January 15th, 2020 board meeting. At this time, we're going to have our Mr. Slay, our normal prayer, pray for us, please.
All right. Let's pray. Lord God, the occasion of today, we come before you and just say thank you, Lord, for giving us another day to go out and to serve others in your name. Let this be an example, Lord, of public service. Father, I pray that we would conduct the business of the county in a way that pleases you. Father, that is in accordance with your will. Father, help us because we need your help to do that, to do it properly. Father, we need your grace and your mercy so that, Father, we would remain humble, that we would understand that everything that we are, all that we have, is a blessing from you. Father, help us not to take that for granted. Lord, we think about the folks that serve every day with their lives on the line. Father, we think about those men and women and the sacrifices that they make, and we ask that you would bless them abundantly and keep them safe, Lord, in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Craig. Okay, for public comment, we have one of our favorite architects, Mr. Franco.
He gets to go first.
Morning. No, yeah, that's probably coming, but that's not why I'm here this morning.
Like I'm sitting down in a little hole.
And I've got your IT director Scott here with me this morning. But on the agenda, what I'd like to do is address the possible change order to add some additional work for IT communications, and I'm going to give you this outline because it's a big picture of cost, because I know that's something that come into play. And I'm not going to go in a whole lot of detail, but the main thing we need to deal with this morning is if you want to expand IT telecommunications, there's enough infrastructure there right now for the building design. When it was done 3-4 years ago, we're on, I guess, the third IT director. But Marcus Burge brought this to our attention right before he left about future capabilities and connecting buildings. And so that's really what this change order, expand IT communications, is for, if the board so chooses, for $8,998. I'm going to let Scott come up and talk about reasons to justify that.
All right.
Sure thing. So Marcus discovered back in September that when the conduit that's being brought into this new building was originally set up, it was only set up to meet exactly what was needed at that time. So he is recommending that we make just a few changes, one of which is to change the size of the, or I should say the way that the conduits are coming in, so that it's going to allow for easier access, and it's also a less expensive installation, so we're actually going to recoup a little bit of cost on that. Also want to make a change about where the various service providers come into the building. IT doesn't really have any access to additional conduits from there, so if we ever had additional ISPs, somebody other than AT&T or something like that needed to come in, we wouldn't have a very easy way to get that into the building. So adding an additional, basically it's what's called a pull box, will allow us to get from one conduit to another so that we can get additional wire in the building without having to pay possibly another $35,000 plus building damage and lawn damage and all this other stuff to try to get a conduit put in after the fact. Also want to increase the amount of fiber that was originally planned to go in the building. It's very minimal cost to go from 12 to 96 strands, so as you can see, that's a whole lot more availability for additional expansion going on down the road. And also want to be able to set that fiber up so that we could splice in other buildings in case that need comes up.
Like the sheriff's office or the jail?
Anything else, yes, absolutely, is close to this area, absolutely. So he wanted to put a couple of different splices in a couple of locations so that we could bring additional fiber into the courthouse without having to do a whole new bore and run new fiber and everything else. The last thing was to, two things, I'm sorry, add a trace wire to the conduit so that if anybody ever has to come in and actually evaluate where the conduits are, they can find it very easily. We won't have to worry about, cut conduits or anything like that done by mistake. And then the last thing is some phone lines and fax things got added to the second floor after, I guess, the building telecommunications design was done. So the request is to add some analog lines in between the two floors so that we can get the connectivity from our phone system into these necessary fax machines and things like that that will be on the second floor. That's it.
All right.
Any questions?
That's above me anyway.
It says expand
Oh, that's
communications plus $8,998.
That's correct. That's the change to the original $35,000 order for the conduits. It's just an additional $8,980 to make that original change order much more functional and more future-proof and allow us to be able to expand the capabilities of communications into the building without having to reinvent the wheel later.
I think as Scott said, the building itself right now will function. This is really more looking toward the future, and I guess from my standpoint, the cost to do it now, we've got a contractor on site, would be substantially less than come in and try and do these things later.
Are they currently doing this work? Or are they already done it?
No.
No, they need, where they're at, and the reason why I need a kind of decision today is they're trying to get paving in between rains. So some of this will be adding new conduit across that east parking lot. So before they get paving in, they go ahead and add it there. So that's where we're at. But to go to the bigger picture, I wanted to give y'all the overall. I gave you a spreadsheet last time of where we're at on cost, but that's too complicated for me, so I tried to just do a word program on what we're looking at for this project to finish. There's a couple other things that we're probably going to have to add. The reception desk in the lobby, we need to increase the size of it because we've got 90 cameras in here and the sheriff needs 5 monitors. We originally, well, we didn't know exactly how many cameras would be in here, but a lot of times you can do this on 1 or 2 computers looping it, but it works better for them to have all them at one time. So that required adding a very substantial size to the lobby desk. The AV in the large courtroom is the only courtroom where we're providing projection. And of course, in the witness box has to be next to the jury stand. Where between the witness box and the projection screen, which is on the other side so the jury can see it, you've got the judge and a couple other stations. So this would allow an AV monitor to be put in the witness box if they need to see the screen. They could see it. It's hard to say that they couldn't see it all completely, but it could be a possibility they couldn't see it all. There's a retaining wall at the front of the building to the south side. We've got 20 feet of landscaping. It's not next to a public area, but because of where litigation seems to go nowadays, we're suggesting to put some railing on top of that just to avoid somebody accidentally falling over there. It's about a 7 or 8 foot drop. Slopes down to 0. There shouldn't ever be anybody there other than maintenance people, but from a litigation standpoint, I think it.
Isn't that where we was going to put the dumpster?
No, there's on the southeast side, Jay. There's actually a mechanical intake vent, so there's a retaining wall because the land is so steep. Nobody should ever be up in there, but a maintenance man could accidentally, I guess, wasn't paying attention, fall over. So to me, it's just something that it'd be considered to add that at this point. On the west side, and I'll show you pictures because this explains it better. Get the the name of that street on the west
It's a
side.
landscape screen.
There used to be a ton of cane. Yeah, if you know where the McLaurin's office is. Well, they had to grade all that down for drainage. And so this is what you see out of the judge's office on the back. We were suggesting, there is some low-level landscaping there. But we're suggesting that we add some landscaping screen, an evergreen screen there. Yeah, Felicity is what it is a possibility. I mean, it wasn't in the plans. Plus, what you see there, some of that is city right-of-way. All that gets grass. But anyhow, we're thinking that at some point it'd be good to have a landscape screen there. The final potential add is we need to add some furniture to the commit space at Larry's department. We originally only had a table and a couple of chairs there, but it's been determined that we really need a desk, filing cabinets, and a couple more, and 4 chairs. So those would be potential adds. Now, to offset that, this is where we're at on deductions. Contingency balance, we still have $85,000 that we don't anticipate in using at this point. It's our understanding we're going to get $50,000, maybe a little bit more back on the bad soils change orders because they didn't use all that. And then there's also an additional testing credit of $40,000 right now that looks like we're going to get back. So when you add the adds and the deducts, right now it's looking like we're going to get $131,000 plus or minus back on the project. So if you go to where the courthouse is at $20,515,000 plus the misdemeanor, which is Sue, $4.2 million, that means at the end of this project right now, we're looking at $24,584,884.71 if the board chooses to go with these. Of course, that's up to y'all. So that still leaves us $416,000 under the $25 million. Now, not included in all that is we're carrying 2 additional allowances. One's an electrical allowance. We think that about $15,000 of that's going to be spent to relocate a pole, to pay energy to relocate a pole. We knew that was going to be done at some point. That's why the allowance is in there. And then there's also a $30,000 allowance for wall graphics. The board, I think, has discussed before whether or not to do it as part of this contract or not. You know, those are still in there. So I just wanted to give you the overall picture today, what we really need to make a decision on. This
Larry was gonna give us a picture of himself. The
Is that what he's gonna do?
$30,000 is a lot of money for graphics.
Well, that's up to the board. If you go to the existing courthouse right now, you'll go down the hall and they've got paintings and all these other graphics.
They
So
can take them down, put them up
well,
over there.
that's always a possibility. That's up to you guys. But anyhow, that's where we're at on the overall picture as of today, and I don't see that changing, a whole lot. It could vary up and down a few $1,000s, but we're about almost 80% complete with the project, so we don't see anything else of major substance unless somebody wants to add something else.
Tell me about this pole. Doesn't it sound kind of high to move a pole?
Well, it does to me, Jared.
Is it a lot on that pole? Got to be moved with?
Yeah.
It's like
3-phase.
It's pretty awesome.
The thing with energy.
Why we got to move it?
It's in the way of, I think, of some grading that has to be done, final grading. The issue, energy is very, until the actual work begins, you never really know how much it's going to cost. They have given us a price, I think $16,000 and some change, tentatively, to relocate that pole. And the contractor cannot do it, energy has to do it because it's their pole and that kind of thing.
Right.
It's a big job.
All right, so are we going to add these items? I make a motion to add these items to the agenda. Do I have a second?
Oh,
Reluctantly, second.
All right, motion By myself, second by Steve. You know, discussion?
Yeah, I mean, we just, well, it just seemed like enough. I mean, I don't know. I'm just going by what you're saying. I mean, seems like a lot of changes. It almost seems like we got this extra money, we find a place to put it.
Well, for sure, the one we need to vote on today. The
what?
expand IT communications. We need
Yeah,
to do that now.
That one for sure.
I think the other one that I would say that's fairly important is that reception desk. We've held them up on that. We're actually getting some credit back, but we're having to add on to that because, well, it's like there's just not enough room to put 5 27-inch wide monitors on there to do all this on the current layout of the desk.
We didn't know this going in? No.
We didn't know how many. Jared, we didn't know exactly how many cameras because the
Right.
cameras
right.
and security
You're
was
right.
added,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we assumed that it would be basically one monitor
I can see
in a
that.
loop.
I mean, really, it does look kind of like we're just finding a place to spend where money we have left over that's sitting there. Not that it's not all needed, I don't know. I mean, it's like this landscaping thing. I'm not completely sure about that. You're just putting a fence up there where you won't be able to see the.
No, I think they're going to plant vegetation there.
Well,
All
you're
right.
talking about putting a fence up there also.
There's a fence already going in, but there's vegetation.
Yeah.
It's
gotta have something
and
on
that's
it.
purely that's.
I mean, it's gotta have something on, no question.
Well, there's grass that's going to go on the hill, but as far as a visual screen, that's depends on. And I
That's
guess
what I'm saying, the visual screen, that's extra.
yes, sir. And
$10,000 worth of plants.
But a visual screen just gonna keep you being able to see those plants.
No, the plants is the visual screen.
yeah, the visuals. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's a landscape. It's like 39.
Okay.
Uh,
When you keep talking about visual screen, I kept thinking about one of those screens that's gonna go up there that will block the view of that hill.
Well, we're thinking
That's
that
what you're saying, but that's a lot of.
the way
lot
this
of plants.
landscaping is, they're going to put the initial plants are like 3 to 4 feet tall, and then they grow 3 to 4 feet each year. So it's going to go up to 20 feet in a few years.
So the only thing I'm going to suggest is, like we did before, I know the original design, they had some plants, original architect, that was not going to survive our heat without water, and I don't believe we've done any irrigation up there. So
No, there is irrigation up there.
Yeah, there is?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we've got the whole project has irrigation all wherever there's planting, and there is irrigation up there also. Now, there's not irrigation on the city's right of way, but we've still got there's about from the retaining wall to the county's property lines about 20 feet. And just to kind of explain, there's the retaining wall, and then we've got a concrete flume behind that to intercept that water coming down that hill, and it takes it to underground drain. But behind that, there was siding, so what we're thinking is adding this landscaping to the view. If you can envision, before they did all this work, there was a thick buffer of cane, and of course, what happened
Right.
was when they regraded it, all that cane was removed. There's still cane a little bit further to the north.
We could just wait until that building falls down that hill.
How many more days they gonna need to do all of this?
None.
They're gonna ask for days, but to be honest with you, I don't know, 2 days, 3 days, something like that, but the policy recently has been not to give any extensions.
It's still good for March.
I believe so, Steve. To be honest with you, I'm gun
I'm gonna tell
shy.
you, I'm getting a lot of heat. Judges, people, 2 years, too long.
I understand, but I can, and I'm not.
And I've been on your side, but
What?
I can't keep going.
Again, it's the contractors, not us.
no,
But
yeah,
we're-
it's
I do.
I know
Yeah.
that, I know, but
It's-
when
Yeah, I
when they're
blame
shut
both
down
contractors'
for
side.
2 or 3 weeks during Christmas, and then asking for rain days, when they know they're shut down anyhow, they don't.
No,
You know that.
Yeah.
You know they don't work during Christmas.
No, I agree. I've got another project where the contractor's asking for rain days on Christmas and Christmas Eve. We didn't recommend it.
I'm not voting for any more rain days. I'm gonna tell you, and it may rain every day from now on, but It's been too long.
But I know contractors work the Christmas Eve and the day after, because
I worked.
I had to go work with them.
I worked.
So, I'm just saying, I know contractors that did that. So
Right,
he,
right.
He can't say, well, we just ought to do that, because I can tell you numbers of them, because of the way the holiday fell in the middle of the week. They were back working Thursday and Friday, because I had to be on the job sites with them.
Well,
So
we
I know-
don't, typically, unless they're working weekends, if it rains, we don't recommend, or holidays, we don't recommend,
Y'all
that
you
being extended.
recommended about 3 days last time you was in here, and it was during the holidays when they weren't working.
All right, we have a motion and a second on this $40,000 worth of additions.
You want to approve all of it?
Yes. Which one would you not approve of?
And I mean, I'm trying to get sold on the whole thing, a whole bunch of it, but, I mean, because this came in as one lump, but that's what I keep asking questions, but I mean, I know if it's something we think we gotta have, I guess we're gonna have to go and prove it, but it just seems to me like we're trying to fill in the gaps with some money we got sitting out there. The communications, I agree, the desk, yeah. But, you know, we add and just keep adding stuff. If y'all want to prove it, I'm not going to vote against it. I'll stay with it, but I'm just still questioning.
Okay.
Do we need all these things?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm same way as Jared. We'll do it. I'll vote for it, but I can see right here where add AV to courtroom for the witness to be able to see the monitor.
Yeah, I'm not
Really?
sure.
I mean, really?
Yeah, and that may be, that could be added later if it
Well,
becomes an issue.
I don't want to add it
I
later.
don't want
but
to add it later. I'm just saying that that's what, it looks like he's saying. It looks
I've
like
never
we're just
seen that before.
putting stuff in.
Well, it
Sweeten the
wasn't,
pie.
and we didn't think it was really necessary originally. It's come up now when you start, it's just,
Yeah.
a judge's bench is
Okay,
up higher.
stop. Let's just go. I got you.
All right. So,
A motion second.
all right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate you, sir.
Hope that's the last time.
I hope it is too. What you-
Oh, yeah, all right. So do I have a motion to approve now that we added it?
We just added, we'll
Motion.
vote on it later.
Yeah. Motion by Steve,
I didn't-
second by myself.
Actually, I
Any other
wanted-
discussion?
I wanted to second it.
All in favor say aye. Ayes have it. All right, Mr. Word, come on.
Good morning. About 2 months ago, I was approached by the dispatch supervisor, Melissa Swoop, on a program that she was that was presented to her at one of her dispatch classes. She asked me about it. We've done some research over the last probably 6 weeks. It's called Rapid SOS, and I have sent the terms of agreement to Mr. Slay to look over those, and I'll let him speak to whether he's good with it or not. I believe that he is. This is at zero cost to the county. We are the only ones that can enter into this agreement as the 911 coordinator. It would go to all of our PSAPs. Basically, what this thing does is going to be able to triangulate a cell phone that's non-CDMA technology. Right now, if the sheriff's department wants to ping a telephone, if you will, there's certain parameters that they've got to go through, and it's got to meet a threshold for them to do that. This program here, they don't have to do any of that. There's still going to be times they're going to need to ping phones because it's a whole different technology. Well, what this thing will do is allow them to go onto a secured website. All they got to do is enter the telephone number in, and it will triangulate wherever that particular phone call is coming from a medical call, a car wreck, or something like that. This is of no cost to the county. My biggest question was, how do they monetize this thing? Why are you offering this to us at no charge?
Yeah.
And the thing is Apple and it's Apple, Uber, and Lyft are all in this thing together. It is developed for them. Their panic buttons that they have encased in their apps. Yeah. That's the monetizing side of this thing, and they're allowing us to have access to the technology at no cost. The way that I think we need to do it. Now, you can pay them a monthly charge and have it integrated into our system, which I'm totally against. I don't think we need to allow anybody into our closed loop system, number one, and why do I want to pay you if you're going to give it to me for free? The difference is, instead of me doing a mouse click on this screen, I gotta move it over about 1.5 inches and get on that screen. I think we can move a mouse 1.5 inches at no charge and not pay them. And just see if this thing works like it's supposed to, so. The state of Mississippi is gonna have an announcement the 1st of February. The 911 coordinator comes through MEMA, and they are on top of this. And right now, there's 32 locations in the state that actually have this program, so.
Good deal.
Great.
Do we need to act on this?
I just want authority. I wanted to speak with you first and get authority to enter into this agreement. And basically all it is when we sign this thing up online, we got to agree to the terms and conditions. And that's what I'm asking you for. And I've sent those to Mr. Slay.
So, Greg, you
Good
already,
with that.
I've already looked at it, and it's not anything that if we don't like it, we can't get out of.
All right.
Which was the key I was looking for.
Okay.
all right, so we need to add this item?
No, it's potential action.
Oh, it's down there? Okay. All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay.
Motion.
No, we don't.
No, we don't even have to.
Not yet. It's down there, right? Is that what you said?
No, but you gotta vote on
You got a vote on it.
Oh, it does say action there. All right, I got you.
Motion.
Sorry. Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right, old business.
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Jared to approve minutes.
Hey, under public comment, I had something else.
Approve these
Sorry.
and go back.
I know. Can we
Second
just-
by myself. Any other discussion?
Oh, all right.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right, so you want to have someone
Oh,
public comment?
we had flooding again last night, yesterday, and I just want to thank Mike Word, Mike Harrison, the Sheriff's Department, coming out and, man, the fire department, yep. When you're at somebody's house and they've got knee-deep water in it, it's just hard to tell them, I'm sorry, enough. I can't stop it. I can't stop the water. But our guys turned out, I mean, it was a force. And I thank y'all. And the county, right now they're hurting. They will appreciate, they will say, or they have said, how much they appreciate Word, Harrison, Sheriff, and fire departments for doing, at least responding. We can't stop a tornado. We can't stop rain. But when we get out there and we feel what they're feeling, it means something to them. So,
No doubt. Thank you, Steve. All right, moving on, consent agenda.
make a motion to approve consent agenda.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Jared. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. John Sullivan, our esteemed tax assessor.
That's right. Regular items, petition to change the assessment 2019, real and personal property assessment roll.
Motion.
Motion by Steve, second by Jared. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Item B, petition to adjust 2019 homestead exemption supplement roll.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Jared. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Go Tigers.
Which one?
All right, Bridget.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm requesting authority this morning to advertise bids for the unit system for one or more tandem dump trucks. And I should have put with bodies, and then one or more lowboy tractor trucks.
Okay.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Jared. Any other discussion?
I got a question. Okay, I'm sure we need these, but is this something that, we need a striping machine, we needed the mulch machine, mulch truck. Is any of this stuff something that we could maybe not do one of these and maybe allow us to get the striping machine or something? I'm just actually looking at prioritizing, and I'm just a question. I guess really a question more for Mike. But I just thought about it when I saw it.
You can?
Yes, we do 36-month buybacks.
Yeah.
And we received those July 11th of 2017. And we've got to get this process going now in order to turn those in if we
Okay.
choose to.
Gotcha.
On the low bore tractor trucks, we bought one in November of 2017. It's 60 months, but I think, Mike will have to answer this. This one is going to be in addition to what we needed.
Yeah.
At
It was
that
just
time,
a-
I think we only got
Yeah,
one instead
I
of
see what
two.
you're saying now. It was just a thought when I saw that. Yeah, okay. So these are turning these others in on the buyback list. Yeah, I got it. Okay, just a question.
All right.
All right.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Bridget. Body cares. I just want to welcome one of our school board members here, Mr. Grumpy Farmer. Welcome, sir.
Hey, Jerry, to answer your question, yeah, I mean, we could do away with them. It's just gonna slow some hauling down, different things that we do in the county. I mean, we use them every day.
Well, no, the way I
I
looked
mean,
at it,
this-
maybe we were like buying another one, and I didn't know whether, I didn't understand about the
Actually-
buyback thing.
Actually, we're looking at, we got 5 tandems coming off. Actually, what I'm doing is taking one tandem off and basically going to a tractor trailer because we just have longer hauls and try to get stock material from one place to the other, especially when we have problems like we did last night.
Right. Well, it was just a, well, you understand where it's coming
Yes,
from, yeah.
I just wanted to try to clarify stuff. Anyway, basically what we're gonna talk about is utility permits today. We're trying to talk about lifting the stop work order on what is active, only the jobs that we put stop work orders on right now. So that's what basically A is.
Probably
And
a few
it'll be
days to
under,
do
it'll
anything
be
else.
under our new guidelines.
So where are we on all of that?
So basically, we've got everything in place, Jay. Sent some stuff to Craig yesterday. He's looked it over. We're gonna send it out to the utility people. Basically, our guideline for our inspection process and how we want them to do it in our county. And as long as they agree to that, we'll lift stop work order on it. If they don't, stop work order will stay on them. And we're not asking them to do nothing besides the wheelhouse. I mean, I've got a brief copy if you want to look over what they'll be doing.
Well, what is the highlights? Can you highlight
Yeah.
what changes?
Well, I
we're
mean, it's
asking?
basically gonna be somebody looking at it, make sure we're in the back 8 foot of the right of way. Basically what's happening right now is they go in, they start at ground level, do a rainbow effect. May hit the 5 foot depth we require, come back up into a hand hole. So basically it looks like upside down rainbow. Design is that you do a bore pit on each end. You'll start at 5 foot and you'll stay at 5 foot. I mean, it may fluctuate a little bit at 6 inches or something like that. Those holes will be backfilled with select material that'll be compactable. They set their hand holes in it. It'll be some guidelines about if you tear up the road or boring up, have to bore under the road, that you'll backfill that with crushed aggregate. Just little things. It's just basically spelling out our permit that we have right now. Am I thinking, Greg, that's what I kind of did, just took our permit and basically spelt it out word by word what you got to do out there.
And we'll have an inspector on site.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And they've got to give us, we've got some forms in this new deal that once we approve a permit, Brad, that it'll come, Janice will send it out. It'll go to them. They'll have to contact my department in 48 hours before they go to work. They got to call locate in. So when they call their locate in, they should be contacting our department, letting us know time and stuff. They can't even have but 6 boreholes open per boring rig. We're trying to minimize that down. No boring on the weekend unless we authorize it. 90 minutes before.
No boring within an hour and a half of sunset, so that any activity is halted before that witching hour. Folks are coming in from work. We don't need to be hitting infrastructure. We don't need to be creating messes as they're arriving back from work, so we're shutting them down a little early.
Are they directional boring?
Yes, sir.
That's what they use, so you got a pit on each end?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But what they've got to where they're doing with this directional boring, Jared, used to, they'd go out there and dig a bore pit and come into that and go. Well, now they done got to where they're not doing the bore pits. They just
that's
hit
what
the
did in my
ground and
neighborhood.
whatever
They're
it
sitting up
does.
here and they're going in, yeah.
Yeah, and coming right back out.
Right.
And
Well,
so
part of
about
that's because they
90%
don't tear
of
the ground up.
your line ends up 2 foot or less in the ground.
Sounds like a small thing, but Mike, I think it's appropriate to thank Mr. Farmer because he's brought some genuine expertise, industry standard, even from other areas, where he has a community that's been real helpful as we develop some of these additional regulations. For instance, not letting them use buckets that have teeth on them.
You wanna use a
Have
smooth-
smooth face bucket, which helps to, we hope, what that will mean is less snagging, pulling and tearing of infrastructure. that's
Water
already
lines.
buried. So, with a smooth bucket, the operator should be able to tell when they've got a resistance that ought to be explored a little bit. At least that's the work it did.
And-
We'll see if that plays out the way we hope, but
And I mean, they got pothole all utilities, I mean, that's their
Do we
protocol,
have
they're supposed to do
anything
that.
as far
anyway.
as, traffic control? Is there anything in there?
I do not have nothing on the traffic control, Jay, I've got it on, the hole should be securely done with, orange construction fence, not tape or ribbon, it'll be that, 4-foot fence right there. I mean, if my inspector sees a traffic issue out there, I mean, I feel like that we can enforce that.
So we're really gonna have someone on site
Yes, sir.
all the time?
Well, he'll be looking at multiple things. He won't be just sitting right there with that contractor all day, but he'll be,
Projects going on that day.
yeah,
We'll have
yeah. I
somebody
mean, he may go
coming
look
by.
at 4 or 5 different projects and circle back to number one. If they have a problem,
They'll contact,
they're supposed to contact him, get it back to us so we can contact the,
And the permit fee will help us cover the cost of an inspector. Is that right?
we hadn't really talked about a fee yet.
Well, I mean, who is gonna be our inspector?
The idea is to see if, in fact, the inspector regimen that we're utilizing, which has, is not an exorbitant cost, and it's coverable within the current budget. The idea is, let's see if this is getting us where we need with respect to enforcement, and then we will look at, how do we backfill that cost at a later date. But the thought initially was, let's have some period determining whether or not this methodology of using the volunteer inspector situation, whether that will in fact get us where we need to be.
Well, I mean, they're trained to know what they're looking for?
They're
They're gonna be?
They're
Yes,
getting
sir.
training in that, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think there's some guys that have experience in this industry.
That I'm using, so.
Well, the netting, I see the netting when you're in a neighborhood. I mean, I think that's important because of
But I
children.
mean, there won't be no holes open on the weekend, I mean, they got to seal up our job on Friday evenings. So,
And the permit fee.
We've also
will cover
introduced
whatever.
the 3 strikes and you're out, and notifying them ahead of time, so that if it's a recurring issue with a particular sub, which generally that's what we're talking about here, it's not the underlying applicant that's the problem. The problem is their subs. So the applicant's problem is they don't have a way to police their own people, okay?
Right.
So we're policing them for them, but we're telling them on the front end, 3 strikes and you're out. First time, you get to sit and twiddle your thumbs for 2 days. Second time's 5 days. Third time, you're out. You got no more work in Rankin County until you come back before this board.
All right,
Okay.
all right. We're good?
Is that what, this is what?
yeah, that was a basically request to lift stop work order utility permit projects work were under construction, the stop work order was issued on.
I have a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Brad. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it.
B is gonna be, request of ceasefire construction fiber optic utility along and Cross Bay Park installed between Spillway, Brenda Lane and Goodwill Industry. This will be a new one. They're trying to get their security cameras issued right here. We've kinda had them held up, so I wanted to do this one right here. And then I have C and D that we take together, cause that is Bay Springs, the same too. And I've had them held up, and it's a total different entity that we hadn't had any problems with, so I wanted to kind of get those working. That'll give us a small piece of the pie to start working on this inspection deal.
All right, do I have a motion on B?
So move.
Motion by Jared,
You don't want to put these all together?
Now, I gotta take B
Oh,
separate.
okay. I'm sorry.
motion by Jared, Second,
Oh, second.
by Steve. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
I'd like to take C and D together, Jay,
All right.
if we can.
Motion.
Motion by Steve.
Second.
Second by Jared. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
I got some additional business. Y'all want me to come back in additional, or you want to take it now?
Let's do it now.
Yeah, come on.
Okay. One thing is we've had some significant flood events over the last few days and weeks.
Probably some more to come.
We're going to try to build want to get authorized. I haven't got a chance to talk to Ms. Lauren, talk to Greg a little bit this morning, but we're trying to build a walkway bridge around when a road blows out or we're got a road shut down that we can get people across for emergency access. Won't be vehicle, it'll be just a walk or be able to get a stretcher across it. And we're gonna need to buy some metal and stuff, and I wanted to try to bring it in my bridge budget because that's where it'll be mostly used. And me and Bridget talked this morning, we just didn't have the money there, and I wanted to amend that bridge budget to cover this cost.
How's
Mike,
it?
how long is
Yeah.
it?
We're playing with it right now. It's gonna be somewhere between 40 and 60 foot.
Can you haul that on lowboy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you gotta do
That's-
it.
I'm
You
doing
gonna do it
some
one piece or
measurements.
two piece?
Probably gonna be a two-piece is what it's gonna be, Jared. I mean, I can haul up to 40 foot on my low boy.
No, I mean, yeah. The reason I'm getting at that, structurally, it's gonna be far greater, more expensive to build one that can be self-contained at 60 feet versus two
Yeah.
sections.
But that's what we're trying to build, is just one deal. I haven't got the metal yet. We're
Well, that's
checking
what I'm
on
getting
some
at though,
prices.
you're gonna have to build it way stronger to be able to support its own self
Right.
when you're lifting, if you do this. So it may be better to build a two-piece that
Yeah.
just goes and then hooks together, cause you
Yeah,
start a
60
60-foot span, you're gonna have some steel and weight there.
People on it too.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, what we're getting into, and I mean, I've got one, we got to change out, we're pushing it into a night work job just because of traffic. I mean, we're gonna have a whole end of a subdivision that does not have access in and out of it. But I can set this in the lower end. If we have emergency response, Mike Word's gonna take care of the emergency response on the other side of the bridge. We can get a stretcher or whatever, get people across it.
How much
And I
money
mean, the
we
road's
talking
gonna be
about?
an
I don't know
8-foot
about
cut.
all that.
How much dollars?
We're probably talking $4,000 for the
Oh,
material.
every bit.
$4,500.
All you're buying the material, you gonna build it yourself?
Yes, sir.
I think Morrison can build, he can weld it up.
Do it, but county probably would, I'd probably go to jail for doing it.
No, just don't charge them.
I do a lot of that now.
It's just a temporary walk thing, I mean, it's something we deal with all the time.
Who
And
designed it?
I think you
mean,
looked at it.
Works right now.
I reckon I have.
Harrison Bridge.
Bridge company.
This is something simple, it's not gonna be a low
Laura, what do we
capacity
need to do?
deal.
You can give authority for me to amend this budget and give me an amount, say 5,000 or whatever, and
All right.
You gonna have rails on it?
Yes, sir.
You build it 60 feet, you're gonna have to have some
Just make
good
sure
support.
Mr. Morrison oversees it and gets his stamp of approval for you.
Oh,
you know.
I'm just saying, I can't help it, I am.
All right,
That's-
can we
But
get?
But I mean, we
make a
run in,
motion
I mean,
by-
it's just like the deal
I
that I
make a
had.
motion to add it to the agenda.
Motion by Steve for Laura to, move money from his
Add
budget.
it to the agenda. We gotta put it on the
Yeah.
agenda.
and
Yeah.
that's
We
two.
Yeah,
gotta
we
have
gotta
a
add it
second.
first.
We gotta vote.
Motion by Steve,
Yeah, second.
second by Jared. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, now make a motion that we ask Laura to adjust the budget up to $5,000.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Ayes have it. Thank you.
All right, I got one more thing.
Man, you need to hurry up.
You don't
You
need-
got business to take care of.
I know. So, we got my new building. When Marcus was here, we got started on security there. Marcus left, kinda lost track of that. We had an incident at my facility yesterday. An irate lady coming in there and determined to go through the whole building looking for me. And there was nobody there but my secretaries. I mean, it got to the point they was ready to call the sheriff's department. So, I mean, there's some locks that's been installed but not active. I need to get authority for IT or somebody to give me some security out there on my building.
Did she find you?
I don't like you either. You didn't find me. You didn't find me, because I was at her house. She was up there and I was at her house.
You go all through her house, see if you can find her.
I did go through her house yesterday because it was flooded.
She's a sweet lady. She's a sweet lady. Hush. When you get that much water in your house, you mad at somebody.
Well, you need to be talking to the man above.
I
He's on the road.
know.
But I mean, we kind of got, like I said, I got a gate installed. We
Yeah.
kind of got some
We'll put
community.
it on our next agenda, so we get with our IT guy, so we'll find out what kind of
Hey,
price.
and while we're talking about that, I know you had some incidents down at the county barn there, the one at White Road.
Yes, sir.
Is there some type of camera, and I don't have to be elaborate, but something, I don't know if you've maybe looked into it already, but to put there just that we would have.
I had to get somebody, I had to get IT or whatever to look at that, Jared,
We've had,
because we don't have Wi-Fi or nothing down there at that county barn. So
okay.
I don't know what it's gonna
We've had
take
some vandalism there.
I don't know what it's gonna take to
Yeah,
get
man, I
security.
forgot we didn't have that.
Mr. Marshall, I
Yeah.
have a solution for that. I've got, when they finish our roof, we're gonna finish up our cameras.
Goes
ourselves. We're
another
gonna do
30
all
minutes.
Our installs ourselves, and I've got the camera guy that I'm talking to, looking at some.
We got an
work
interview
off of
supposed to be
a
kicking
MiFi
off
that we
here in a
already
minute.
have
Yeah.
for our
We got an
camera
interview
sites.
supposed to be kicking
And,
off here in
so
a
we may
minute.
have a solution for.
All right, well, that's
Just picking up
good.
trouble.
That'd be good. Just something, I know we've had an incident, and we got some teenagers I know
10:30.
are coming in, actually around the gate. We may have, around the fence, which we may need to extend a little bit. But if we could just identify them, I think then you could address it to a parent, and it'd probably be over.
Stop.
At least you can put a face with the problem.
Right,
So-
right.
But I think we got a solution for that, and I'll give it Mike on.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, we give it
Thank you.
Scott, so you can come up with
Who's
what we
Scott?
need. Right behind you, yeah.
Didn't know you hired anybody.
Oh, man.
In fact, I don't
All right,
think I got
Tim,
it
come
in
on
my
up,
phone.
sir.
Thank you, Tim.
Director, I don't think I've got it
Oh.
in here.
You may make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. First item we have on the agenda is Sawgrass Lakes Part 4. That's a District 3 subdivision. We're recommending approval of the construction drawings for that phase.
All right, we have a motion.
That'd be on you.
Jared,
I'll make a motion.
Dan, motion by
Jared,
Brad,
I got it.
second by Jared, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
The next item is on the Andrew Chapel Road Bridge replacement. This is the clearing and grubbing of Phase 1. We're recommending approval of pay application number 1 to Thornton Construction Company, Inc. in the amount of $96,755.30 and authority to issue the check. And I will note that this is the final pay request. The clearing is done. This contract is over for that phase clearing.
Do we want to do that before we look at it today?
Mike and I looked at it,
Last night?
we did not look at it last night after the rains came, but
I did.
Which ones? The clearing and grubbing project, Thornton.
There's something out of sorts.
Well, the water was waist deep. I just don't know if we want to cut it loose. The water was rolling waist deep over those two bridge areas. Everything held together, Mike, or
Well, right now, Steve, I'm sorry about that, but anyway, me and Tim hadn't had a chance to talk about it very much this morning. We did talk last night. We have somebody going out there and inspecting this bridge before we open Andrew Chapel, because it went 4 foot over that bridge.
right?
So we wanna make sure that we didn't lose no head walls or different things like that on that project.
Now, that's a separate project.
That's
That's a
not-
separate project.
Yeah,
Yes, to
this
correct.
is clearing and
Okay.
grubbing. Yes, sir?
Yeah, so are we clear what we're approving, that it's not the bridge?
Right, it's just clearing and grubbing, isn't it?
Yeah, are we clear on that?
I am
We are now.
Still have some-
I am now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
you
still
thought,
have some concerns, Steve, about inspecting the clearing and grubbing part of the project?
Not really. No,
All
it's
right.
more the bridge.
All right, so we got a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Steve, second by Jared. Any discussion? All in
Sure,
favor, say aye.
we have looked at it, haven't
It was just yesterday.
we? I mean, the clearing and grubbing
Oh,
part.
yeah.
They said they had.
So I
Yeah.
mean,
But to answer your question, the clearing and grubbing is complete. It
Okay.
has nothing to do with the bridge, but we are.
And we did a final inspection on the clearing and grubbing last Friday.
okay, all right.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
But to answer your question, we are going to inspect that bridge before we open it back.
Oh, the very next thing, bridge.
Yes, sir. Item C is the Andrew Chapel Road Bridge Replacement Project. We're recommending approval of payout number 8 to Joe McGee Construction in the amount of $81,804.22 and authority to issue the check.
Have we looked at it?
And this is for work done in December.
I'll make a motion, but we sure gotta look at those bridges.
Oh, yes, sir, absolutely, yeah. We talked, we were on the phone in communication with Joe McGee's group last night and kind of coordinating the reopening today and how that was gonna go down, and hopefully, and obviously we'll reassess everything out there once the water's
So
down.
we need to approve
Do that.
it pending this, or?
This is not a final payout.
No, this is a partial pay
Oh,
request.
okay,
So you got more.
Yeah.
All right.
And we're obviously holding
Motion
retained
by
income.
Steve,
Motion.
second.
second by Jared. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Item D, the North Shore Parkway Spillway Road Improvement Project.
Don't need it.
STP
Daniel's not.
0610090. Pay application number 6 to Hemp Hill Construction in the amount of $238,333.82 and authority to issue that check.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Jared. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Thank you, Mr.
All
President.
opposed? Ayes have it. I had it.
I had it.
Yeah. All right, Craig.
Yes, sir.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Gentlemen. First item under my section is just to set a public hearing for January the 30th, 2020, 9 a.m. This is the Patricia Chapman nuisance property, 111 Susan Street. That's a District 1 property.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Jared. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Item B, if you'll refer back to the document that Carl handed out, item B is actually reflected on that document. So it's this sheet right here, the courthouse costs later
Yeah.
on it. If you look at the bottom, you'll see other allowances in contract.
Yeah,
One of
30,000.
which is wall graphic for $30,000. That's what this relates to. We just need to give our architect some final guidance on that. You guys will remember that there was an artist who proposed a rendering with respect to that face wall in the lobby of the new courthouse.
Right.
It's a significant structure. It's a large space, vertical space, and so there was the concept of some sort of artwork that would be appropriate that could be placed there. There were a couple of renderings that went around, some limited discussion on that. The feeling of the board, as I recall, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong about this, but the feeling was, we want to look at that later. We think maybe after the building's open. I think, Steve, you may have commented, let's wait till we get the building open. We need to give them some guidance and just make sure we're at a point basically of no return, Carl, to try to get that lined up. If the thinking has changed and you want to move forward with some sort of art concept there, we need to know that now.
If you want it in this construction contract, you have the option to come in later.
Yeah.
Depending on what you want to do.
I think we want to get some ideas from other people and,
Yeah, I'm not on that.
yeah.
Let's just make that a formal directive then to the architect that we're going to pass on the artwork at this time.
I would like for us to get there and the judges give us some recommendations, what they want to see when they come in. Maybe the public, just have some,
Maybe be able to picture the
You want
scales of
to
justice.
deduct it out of the construction contract.
Yes, sir.
deduct it somewhere.
Yep.
We'll do a change order, deducting
All
30.
right.
Yep.
Okay. Good deal.
Or either Larry can take some of his pictures and hang them.
So what
All
I
right,
would, what I would propose that we do then, to handle this, so we don't have to address it further, and to help your staff as well with respect to the minutes, it would be this. Let's add an item to the agenda to approve a change order deduct of artwork wall graphic from the Chancery Court construction contract. That would be the add item.
Make the motion.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Jared. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Now, if I can get you to approve that, please.
I'll make the motion to
Motion
approve
by
it.
Steve,
Second.
second by Jared. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Okay, Mr. President, item C is a discussion of the Help America Vote Act grant program and a discussion of the election commissioner equipment purchase request that's underneath that grant. Let me walk you through a couple of details about this. Roughly a couple of $100,000 is available to Rankin County for the purchase of election-related equipment under the Help America Vote Act grant program. The county's already qualified for the funding. It's simply now a matter of selecting the various items of election equipment that qualify under the grant and authorizing the purchase of that equipment through our normal process, and then making a request to the Secretary of State's office for a release of the grant funds to reimburse that. Y'all follow how that works now?
What are we needing to purchase?
Well, here's the thing. The first thing we have to do is we have to come up with the equipment that would qualify under the grant that is actually needed.
Yeah.
Right? So we don't just buy stuff, be buying stuff. So obviously that's an election commissioner issue. They need to address the issue. What do we need? Where are we short? What additional equipment items? The second part of that process is communicating with the Secretary of State's office to make sure that the items of equipment that are listed as needed actually qualify for reimbursement of the grant. We don't want to buy stuff that we later find out we can't get reimbursed for, okay? So, or at least we want to minimize that possibility. There may be some items of equipment, by the way, that the election commissioners have determined is a desperate need that may in fact not qualify for reimbursement. And you guys need the opportunity to say, let's get them what they need, even though we're not going to get reimbursed for that. Okay, so we're trying to minimize and work through all those issues. Where we are is a listing of equipment that comes up into the neighborhood of about $195,000 to $198,000, I think it is total. That has been sent over to the SOS to look at and review. You guys understand there's some transition that we're expecting at the Secretary of State's office. There's some uncertainty there. We don't know exactly what all is going to happen in the elections division. So there's some difficulty communicating, but what we've heard back is that there are some specific items of equipment that do not qualify. So, ladies, y'all,
Printers, about
yeah.
$2,700. However, if the election commissioners want to buy that out of their budget, they have $10,000 in their capital outlay. If
This
they
is-
feel that they're.
Yeah, let's give them that option.
2,000 out of the 200,000 that don't qualify.
About 1%.
So what are we buying that is going to need to be put on maintenance?
Poll pads. Scanners.
More scanners?
I have a list, we'll look at it. We have one right here, digital scanners and poll pads are probably.
So we're just basically spending the money because it's out there, not because we need it.
Well,
Jay,
they
I-
said that they need
Yeah.
the poll pads,
Okay.
that they do need the poll pads.
I don't know if we need new scanners. We just bought all this equipment last year, and we bought enough to cover every precinct we have.
This is 16 ballot scanners.
Yeah, so what we understand, and I'm probably not the best spokesman for this discussion, but what we understand is that you've got some precincts where, based on traffic pattern that they're aware of, based on the fact that this is in fact a presidential election year upcoming, and we're expecting significant turnout, they're looking for some congestion areas in specific precincts where we can add an additional scanner to help control some of that. So roughly 16 scanners, I believe it is, that they've requested. So that would be dispersed, obviously, among each of the election commissioner districts to address issues of congestion at the polling place.
We are looking,
And 50 poll pads out of the 50 precincts we have.
but we're looking at a grant that we could receive 200,000, roughly. It may cost us 2,000.
Yes, sir. Well, and cost
Make a
us.
motion, we go.
But
Yeah.
also, though, we fixing to have a heck of a maintenance bill on all that equipment we are getting for free. So
Yeah, the grant doesn't provide for maintenance. It provides for purchase.
Yeah. All right. We have a motion by Steve.
Do we need it?
We're being told that we do, yes, sir.
All right, I make a motion. If it costs too much to maintain it, sell it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we really need it. I think we're buying it just because
So-
the money's there.
Can I clarify for the record what we're doing to help us here to make sure our minutes reflect accurately and so that we can properly communicate back to the election commissioners what's happening here? That there is, in fact, not a meeting of the minds at the moment between the representatives of the election commission and the Secretary of State's office that the printers don't qualify for reimbursement. So what we need to communicate back is that the board is satisfied to approve moving forward with the purchase of all of these items and ask for reimbursement from the Secretary of State's office. And we're willing for that to happen even if it's determined that the printers do not in fact qualify for reimbursement,
said they
as
had-
long as the election commissioners
Out
understand
of their
that it will
budget.
come out of their
Their budget.
budget.
Yep.
So that gives it back to them to decide whether or not they need those printers. And what they
Yep.
may say is, we want the printers if we can confirm that we're gonna get reimbursed through HAVA, and if we can't, we won't order the printers. We'll give them that option. Okay?
We also get money each year, election support
Mhm.
money that we can use for maintenance.
Yeah.
Well, since we've gotten our new equipment, our percentages in this county have went way up on voters. We had gotten down to nearly 30%, and we hit nearly 60% in this last one. When they can come in there and vote in less than an hour, they vote. But when they gotta stand in line and can't pick their kids up before 6 o'clock or whatever, they don't vote. And I think we did a good job this last round, and we may can do better.
We still got them standing there.
I know. I mean,
45 minutes an hour.
Right, but
Process is
when it's
very
more than an
long.
hour.
Anything else
But
other than
that's
that?
because
'Cause
people turn
they
out
were
and vote.
requesting other items before, like some bags for the ballots and,
Some of that is on.
okay. I knew that was something they had petitioned us to purchase before.
Yeah, sure was. Some kind of-
Here. Security tokens are, some cables,
Okay.
but they potentially have money with some, in some line items in their budget to,
Yeah.
I don't know how much they have.
All right, so we have a motion by Steve and a second by Jared. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
We will also remind and caution the election commissioners to follow our requisition process carefully.
Okay.
Yep.
And we would like to communicate from the board the desire that they follow that process carefully.
Yes.
I'm assuming those are on state contract. They're not?
That-
Oh, wow.
Really?
So how are they gonna purchase it?
The iPad will probably be on state contract, but the other stuff, some will be sole sourced apart. We're gonna have to get it to separate what, and it's just gonna have to be broken down, what I can buy. Some of it's supplies that I can buy, but
Okay.
They don't need to rush out and buy anything or commit to anything until we have complied with our purchasing process. And there's going to be some legwork involved in that, is the point that we wanted to make.
All right.
This is not going to be pick up the phone, place an order, write a check. There's going to be some work involved in all of this.
All right, next.
Okay. Mr. President, item D is consideration of and potential action to renew our contract between the Rankin County Tax Collector and Central Mississippi Court Collections. This is for personal property tax, mobile home tax that is operated through the tax collector's office. This contract is a renewal of an existing contract that's been in place for years. The contract I have looked at and reviewed. The terms of it are identical to the prior contract that was amended to reflect that the service provider is only paid to the extent that there is a collection of the specific amounts that are authorized under state law for the collection percentage, not an additional percentage. So it's limited to just the statutory collection percentage that's set out in the statute for Rankin County businesses and mobile home licensees. That's going to be 25%, and for out-of-state Under the statute, it's 50%. So the contract is identical to the prior contract.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Jared. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Mr. President, item E is approval to accept a proposal that's been submitted by LLD Contractors, Inc. To demolish and clean up the property at 2418 South Pearson Road. That's PPIN 7897. The proposal is in the amount of $4,500 to clean all of the property. The board is also authorizing with this action, assuming it approves it, for the placement of a lien on the property so that the proceeds the costs can be collected as part of the normal property tax process.
I make a motion to approve if you wanna know what it is. It's that Kenneth Wells property. It is, horrible. If you've not ever gotten out and walked up there, you can't, really, you don't grasp it at all.
Second.
I took pictures.
Motion by Jared, second by Steve. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. We
Man,
just
that's
never
a-
gonna recoup that money.
No, but this started with you. I inherited it.
I know. Believe me, I'm glad you can have it.
I know. So you ought to be willing to try to get it cleaned up.
Man.
You didn't have to hear about it. It is horrible though.
Well, there's another one right beside it we're gonna have to do then.
Well, it's a house. Not yet. The house won't have to come down, but it's horrible too.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, I will have at least one matter for executive session. that
Well, we
involves-
gotta step it up then. So let's move.
Yep.
All right, come on, Laura.
Thank you. The first item I have this morning is acceptance of the Supreme Court Administrative Order appointing Family Master David L. Morrow Jr. for 6 months, January through June of 2020, and compensating him at a salary of $2,500 per month.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
The next item is discussion of and potential action to hire Schultz and Wynn Consulting Electrical Engineers to provide a survey of the annex building and establish a scope of work for a standby power system in the amount of $3,000.
Is that our
Yes,
generator?
it is.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Additional business?
Yeah, if I may, Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask, let's take our right-of-way acquisition agents right quick.
All right.
And, I think we can get them cleared out here.
Is that executive?
No, sir.
No.
Oh, okay.
A
All right.
couple reports on a couple of just compensations
All
that
right.
we need to discuss.
Okay.
I think Gunner Road is what we're talking about here.
Okay. Normally we always in executive session, so.
Yeah.
We've been presenting landowner counteroffers in executive session, but this is just a standard.
All right. What we got?
It's been a while since y'all saw us for this.
Y'all just wanted to come back and see us, didn't
You've been missing us.
you? Start the year out.
So y'all know Greg Thompson, that's Caleb Coombs. If you
Yeah.
don't remember, Caleb he's the lawyer of the bunch. So he should know what he's talking about.
For better or worse, right? Mr. President, members of the board, we've got two today, one on Andrew Chapel. It's a waiver. It's very simple. It's actually the adjoining property of the large house on Andrew Chapel. It's a 0.01 acre take area. The house actually is an encumbrance on it, but it's $135 at $13,500 an acre. It's being valued as vacant land on that. And it'll be taken into consideration with the appraisal that you guys have already approved on the large house. So the motion would be.
$135.
That's it.
That's all we're looking at.
Motion by
On-
Steve
on
to add
Andrew
this
Chapel.
item.
$135.
On Andrew Chapel.
Okay.
Well, you heard him. He said it was .0001
0.01 acre.
Kind of foot.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I want to
I do not
clarify.
want to go to court on that.
No,
This is literally cleaning up
I
old
got you.
record
Yeah.
keeping.
I was making sure. 'cause I was
Do you
thinking
have
like,
some other easy
what's the
ones
catch here?
that you're gonna add?
I've got one more,
All right, well, go ahead. We'll just do them all
and
together.
that's the only one I got on Andrew Chapel. I've got
Right.
one on Gunner Road.
All right.
This
You want
is.
to do it separate or together?
No, let's do it all together.
All right.
So Gunner Road, we've got one where we've got 2 easements and a permanent acquisition area, and we're requesting approval of an establishment of just compensation amount of $37,204.
Dang, that's a big difference.
Okay, I changed my mind. Let's start with. Let's separate them
Hey,
out.
I want to do mine first too.
Good. So we can move to approve, it's AC 19 on the Andrew Chapel
I
project.
make a motion to put that on
All
that.
right, we'll make a motion to add Andrew Chapel.
Second.
Second by Jared. All in favor, say aye.
I make a motion to approve it.
Motion by Steve to
$135.
approve. Second
Second.
by Jared.
Yep.
All in favor, say aye. Ayes have it.
Now, tell me about this one.
Yes, sir, this is,
You got my attention now.
This is the one in the bottom where we have to put that big box culvert across the road.
Okay,
It's
okay.
backing up by Mr. Smith's.
Oh,
place.
God, yeah, yeah.
That big box culvert.
Right.
Was, the engineering was finalized, and this is the last valuation report we're gonna bring on that
Yeah.
road.
No, it's not gonna be anywhere around that. It's been a problem for, I mean, I imagine it flooded this weekend. I mean, yesterday.
So it's valuable property though,
Well,
37,000.
Floodplain.
well, no, to make it work.
we're hitting,
How many acres are we buying?
as part,
It's not a bunch of land, it's just, mess its place up. We're messing up the corner of a parking pad, and then we're hitting a little gazebo in his backyard. It's gotta be torn down and rebuilt. That's what's
How much dollars did you say?
37 and change.
Oh,
so the actual land compensation, when you have the permanent easement, temporary easement, and fee, is $5,624. 31,000, the remainder is in damages. To pavilion, driveway, bridge, wood bridge, fencing, patio, and landscape.
The guy owns property on both sides of the
He done hit the gold mine here.
And a pool house too, so.
So this is road, water, drainage, infrastructure to make sure that Gunner Road doesn't go underwater.
Well, I'm never gonna say that. They don't have that power.
That's corrected.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
This is changing out
That-
two 24-inch pipes.
oh, I know. Oh, I'm very familiar with it, with issues with it there. And the guy's house has issues with it because it dumps water on him. Now hopefully this solves that.
Sounds like we're about to dump some more water on.
No, I think it'll let it
Sounds
move
like we're
through
fixing
right
to make
now.
a
You can't, you
deposit.
don't.
Get it
move
on the
through.
crossing.
Oh, so it's backs up on his
Just-
property.
Yeah, it
Okay.
overpowers it.
All right. You want to add this item to the agenda?
Yeah, it does.
We don't have to.
No, I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna just clarify. Is this, I mean, it sounds high. I mean, I'm just saying, I thought we had talked about that, the gazebo thing. That just sounds kinda high. But I mean, is that what he's saying he wants for it? or
No,
what?
sir, it's not.
This is Jim Turner's
Okay.
appraisal of it.
This is Jim's appraisal of it. We're stepping in and presenting it for him. He's out today. So I've got a breakdown of it, and I've got the a summary appraisal here for you. If
I
you
mean, has
want
he
to
ever
review it.
seen it?
Yes, sir. Y'all have to approve before I can present. I would never give numbers to a landowner before I had.
But I mean,
authority.
surely, I mean, we approved that. I mean, I can't believe he would not accept that.
I expect we could get it to closing if y'all approve this.
Get what?
I think we can buy the land from him, and I think we can buy it. if
Oh, I'm sure you
y'all
can
approve.
at this price.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm getting at. This just seems high to me. I mean, I know the area very well. I know the dwellings and the
So we
bridge.
taking out his pool house and some kind of wood bridge. And
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Driveway,
Huh?
driveway too.
Yeah.
A big chunk of driveway,
Right.
pool house got to be
Concrete.
torn down and rebuilt, a bunch of brickwork.
You ain't got to show it to 'em. I mean, look, I know
Yeah.
every bit about it right there.
It's gonna really mess his property.
Okay.
It's gonna look like
All right, well, I make a motion to add this to the
all
agenda.
right, motion by Jared to add the item.
Second.
Second by Steve. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, you gonna approve it?
Yeah, motion approved.
Motion by Jared.
Go on, Brad.
Second.
Second by Brad. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Ayes have it. Thank y'all.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We got this approved, you like going in and offer him a little less?
Okay,
Go
we
up to
have
this
executive
point.
session.
Ask every landowner for
Craig,
donation.
do we have an executive session?
Yes, we did. Yep.
For,
Pending litigation.
And personnel.
yeah. All right.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to discuss the need to go into executive session?
So moved.
Motion by Jared.
Second.
Second by Steve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right.
Let's see, Mr. Farmer. How you doing?
Mr. Grumpy. How are you? See, bud.
Name like Grumpy, you think you complain all the time?
He's always there.
This one's got some light where the water's coming off. Oh, yeah. I think you need to look at the case somewhere. You don't have, I mean, put the screen up, put like, I can see all this. That's kind of where it's, I don't want to drive me crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, we just need to get going. So
They do it as fast as they can.
And the only thing about making them dig a pit, and I know why they're trying to, two reasons to get around that, so they don't want to mess that yard up, so they can take steel and run it there, but they have to dig such a bad hole. I know. Yeah, we just run forward.
okay, everybody clear the room, please.
If you're not involved in executive session, please clear the room at this time.
Get him, Mr. Man.
What is our, we need to deal with John. We won't be out here by 12. I'll sit outside.
What's up?
This morning.
Probably would make some concessions if I didn't know that. That's pretty awesome.
We'll see y'all. I know, thank you. Took me back where they were.
That's pretty awesome.
11 o'clock.
I got 12.
My big drinks. Sure.
And I told her we're going to fix the leak. And it was another hour and a half before.
Hey, on that wall.
That 10,000
Wouldn't mean 30,000 on that wall on the court.
Oh, yeah.
Just do something like that. Rankin County is too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Hard class. Let them.
But it's so big, what they were talking about was gonna be huge.
This is pretty impressive that you.
Well, that's what we were thinking, actually, something like that. Yeah. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Yep. It's like a BC powder. All right, so can we go ahead and get in executive session?
This will be really quick.
All right. So, I have a motion to go in executive session for litigation.
I
and
make a
personnel.
motion.
Motion.
Motion
Brad
by
made
Brad.
a motion, I'll second.
Second by Steve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. We are in executive session.